Welcome to this quick yoga class designed for weightlifters after a lower body workout. Today is especially perfect if you've just lifted legs and are looking for a calm cool down to help you have a more effective and fast recovery. This yoga class is welcome for all levels. Just find a comfy spot at your gym or maybe somewhere at home and we can get started. In addition, some yoga blocks are really helpful if you're not super flexible. If you don't have yoga blocks at your gym like me, I grabbed my lightest kettlebells. You can just keep those handy for the entire practice, and you'll see why they come in handy soon. Let's just begin in stillness with one deep breath, just trying to bring our heart rate down a little bit. Inhale, hold. And exhale out. On your next inhale, reaching those arms up to the sky. On your exhale, coming into your first forward fold, starting to stretch our hamstrings here. Now, everyone's flexibility is different. Maybe you're just bracing yourself here on the thighs, maybe down on the shins or ankles. If you want to use those kettlebells, it just brings the mat up a little closer to you. If your flexibility allows, you can of course also reach all the way down for the mat. I'm beginning with my knees bent, just supporting my lower back as I begin to develop the flexibility in my hamstrings. Let's roll up to the count of 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, reach up, extend to the spine. On your exhale, coming down into your forward fold, landing wherever your flexibility allows. Try to drop your head and your neck, keeping your knees bent as you roll up through the spine for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last time we inhale, reach up. On your exhale, forward fold over, land wherever works for you, depending on your flexibility right now. Trying to relax the head and neck. Again, your knees stay nice and bent. As you feel a little more warmed up, feel free to straighten them a little more, just to where it gets you a nice, not super painful stretch through the backs of the legs in the hamstrings. We're gonna roll up our last time for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Let's go into our next stretch here. If you struggle with balance, I would of course challenge you to first try it without the wall or something to hold on to, but we are going to come into a quad stretch on our left side. So if you need a wall or perhaps a bar nearby, of course use that as needed. Try to engage your core a little bit here. So we don't want to be arcing throughout our lower back, lifting up through the spine, pressing and rooting that right foot down. If you can, maybe grabbing the foot with both hands and really stretching through the front of that quadricep. Let's inhale. Deep, long exhale out. Inhale. And exhale out. Try to keep some control here. Again, use a wall if needed or challenge yourself to balance. We're gonna cross the left ankle over top of the right knee and settle back into a standing pigeon pose or a figure 4 stretch. I like to bring my hands into prayer. If you don't, you can keep them wherever you want to. We're looking for a stretch throughout the left glute here. Let's take one more breath as I know your legs are probably tired. Inhale. And exhale, just come standing. Good job. Let's take it to the other side. Tucking now the right foot back. If you can, maybe reaching back with both hands. Really pulling through the front of that quadricep. Again, no arched lower backs. We're trying to lift up from the foot all the way through the top of the head to the sky. 2 breaths here. Inhale, hold. Exhale out. 1 more, maybe deepen the stretch. Inhale, hold. And exhale out. Little balance challenge here, trying to stand on just your left foot, crossing the right ankle over top of the left knee, and settling back into your standing pigeon pose or figure 4 stretch. Let's take 1 deep inhale here, holding your balance, maybe engaging your core. And on your exhale, coming into your Tadasana or your standing position. Excellent work. Just bringing your left foot forward. We're going to step the right foot back, coming into a lunge on our left side. So most people might think of a low lunge a little more split open like this. I'm going to challenge you, even if you have that flexibility, to bring both of your angles up to 90. So you can see I have a 90-degree here and about a 90-degree angle there. First, find your stability, right? So really plant, maybe spread the left toes. Same thing, really planting the toes of the right foot. And then we're gonna pull our core in. So again, no arched lower backs. Pull that core in, even tilt your pelvis under a little bit. Maybe squeezing your glutes a little to support you. Hands can come onto the knee if you're struggling with balance. Hold on to something with one palm. And then tuck your chin down and curve over a bit. Hopefully you're feeling a nice stretch through the front of the right quad, maybe even into the psoas muscle on the right side, or your hip flexor. Just breathing here, inhale. Exhale out. One more. Especially amongst weightlifters, like people who lift really heavy legs, I feel like this is such a tight area, so just enjoying the pull of this stretch. If you need to sink down a little bit here, feel free to sink down into a lower lunge as well. The next thing we do is shift the hips back and coming into a half split. So again, this is a great time. If you're really struggling here, we don't want super arched back. So if the flexibility doesn't allow you to extend through the spine, maybe using some yoga blocks or something like a kettlebell just to bring that mat up a little closer to you. The goal is to keep a nice straight knee, flex toes lifting up towards the sky, and then an extended spine, right? So this is not so good for our lower back. It's also not gonna lengthen all the way through the back of the leg. This is definitely a tight one, even for me, a flexible person of many years. So let's just take a few deep breaths to try to release tension. Inhale, hold steady. Exhale, try to have a tiny dip of release. Inhale, hold. Exhale, gentle release. One more inhale. And as you exhale out, coming back forward, we're gonna take that left foot to the top left corner of your mat into your lizard pose. You can keep hold of those kettlebells or yoga blocks, again, if that helps you hang out here. Lots of different variations here. We can maybe extend a little lower if you're someone who has the flexibility. You can also lift the back knee if that's more comfortable for you. Our goal is to feel a nice stretch probably through the hip flexor on the right side, as well as a gentle opening in the left hip. So taking whatever lizard pose feels nice for you, let's just inhale. Exhale out. Inhale, hold. Exhale out. One more inhale. And exhale out. Good. Plant those palms. I'm going to challenge you to press the mat away, lift the hips up towards the sky, and come into a downward facing dog. Let's start our down dog with the knees bent. So just a few tips, as I think I'm gonna have a few people taking this that are a bit more new to yoga. For a down dog, both palms are flat and pressed into the mat. Your feet and toes are also actively pressing into the mat. Heels are lifted, just the toes are making contact. We're trying to lift the hips up to the sky. So if you had a string on your tailbone, it's lifting you up. Your chest is pressing down to the mat. And you're dropping your head and your neck to release. Once you've found that position, you can work on straightening the knees. It's okay if they don't straighten fully, but your goal is to maybe get there so you have a nice stretch through the entire hamstrings and the calves. So just playing here, you can always pedal out your downward dog as well. A little more comfortable usually if our legs are stiff, if we're still developing that flexibility to just stretch one leg at a time. Beautiful. Let's walk those feet up towards the hands in your forward fold and roll up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Let's just take that to the other side. So this time we're going to step back the left leg into that lunge position. Remember, we're coming into a 90-degree and a 90-degree angle. Spread those toes out. Find your stability first. Planting your hands on the knee. Hold on to something if needed with one hand. Pulling in the core, tucking the pelvis under a little bit, and then dropping the chin. Whew, I really feel it on this side. I went to a ballet class for the first time in a while on Monday night, which is 2 days ago, and my quads are so sore. Let's just breathe through it. One more deep inhale. And exhale out. Good work. If you want to drop into a lower, deeper lunge, taking one more breath there, inhale. And then exhale, we're gonna shift those hips back for our half split. Again, this is one where yoga blocks or kettlebells really come in handy to support you. Trying to straighten that right knee, flexing the right toes. We inhale, hold. Exhale, tiny release if you can. Inhale, hold. Exhale, down. Last one, inhale. On your exhale, shifting back forwards, the right foot's gonna go to the top right corner of your mat for lizard pose. Feel free to keep those kettlebells handy if they help support you here for your stretch. If you'd like to go a little deeper, maybe planting the palms down to the mat. Some people like to lift that back leg. You just find a comfortable spot for you to have this stretch. Let's inhale, hold. Exhale out. Inhale, hold. And exhale out. Excellent work. We are just going to shift that back knee forward, coming into a gentle spinal twist here. So sitting on your bum, left foot is flexed, right leg is gonna cross over top. We're gonna take that left elbow, cross it over to the other side of the right knee and come into a spinal twist here. If that's really challenging for you, you can also hug the knee into the chest and work through the spinal twist from there. So just take whichever one is your level. Let's inhale, hold. Exhale out. Inhale, hold. And exhale out, untwist. So we're just doing this to have a really gentle lower back stretch before we get into a deeper version of this position. Crossing the left leg over top of the right this time. Again, you can hug that knee into the chest if you want to go a little deeper, propping the elbow and using it to help twist through the spine. Inhale, hold. Exhale, twist a little further. One more time, inhale, hold, and exhale, twist. Good work. Let's bring that bum a little forward so we can come down onto our back on our yoga mat. We're gonna come into our figure 4 stretch. So the first option is to cross your left ankle over top of the right knee. You can see that my right feet stay planted. If this is enough for you, just hang out here. If you need this to be a little bit deeper to really feel the stretch in the left glute, lift the whole thing up off the mat. Use your palms to grab your right thigh and then start to gently pull it in towards your chest. So this is usually a pretty deep stretch for everyone. It just depends kind of where you are. So find a comfy spot and we're gonna breathe through it. Inhale, hold steady. Exhale, gentle tug. Inhale, hold where you are. Exhale, tug. Last one, inhale, hold. On your exhale, you can stay here. If you want to go a little deeper, you're gonna open up your arms in a T position, and you're gonna let the whole figure 4 fall off to the right side of your mat. So coming into a spinal twist. This is pretty deep, so it's okay if it's not comfy for you if you wanna switch it. You can also uncross the legs if it's too much, and you can just bring those knees over uncrossed. So take whatever works for you. Again, this is pretty deep for your lower back, especially if maybe you were doing some heavy squats, really going into that lower back. Coming into whatever works for you here. Wherever you are, let's take 2 big, deep belly breaths. Inhale deep to the belly. Exhale out. One more inhale. Good, and exhale very slowly. Use the core to untwist the spine. Unwinding the legs, we're gonna take it to the other side. Right ankle crosses over left. You can stay here or option to pull it up into the air, reaching the hands for the back of the thigh. Inhale, we hold. Exhale, gentle tug. Inhale, we hold. Exhale, tug it closer. Last one, inhale. Option again to stay where you are, or if you want to deepen it, you can let this entire thing fall off to the left side of your mat. If that spinal twist is a bit deep, I recommend you bring the knees together, so uncrossed, and then you let them fall as so. Take it to your own level. And we have 2 more deep belly breaths here. Inhale, try to expand your belly. And exhale out. One more like that. Inhale, expand the belly. And exhale out. Good job. Slowly unwinding the spine. We have your final stretch here, happy baby pose. I know some people aren't super comfy doing this in a public space. So if you're at a gym and want to skip it, that's okay. Maybe just pulling those knees into the chest. Maybe just moving them around a little bit, adding a little mobility in the hip joints. If you do want to join me for full happy baby, you're opening up those knees to either side of your torso, lifting your feet up to the sky, and then grabbing wherever you can reach. So maybe it's just down here at your thighs. If you can reach the ankles or the insides or the outside of your feet, it is up to you. And then trying to draw those knees down. Ultimately, this is just a fun stretch at the end of the practice. Feel free to rock back and back a little bit, massaging that lower back into your mat. Having a little fun at the end of a hard workout and the end of a good stretch and cool down. Wherever you are, maybe just finding stillness for a moment. Let's take a final deep breath here. And exhale out. Lovely, drawing those knees into the chest, rolling over onto one side. I always take 1 or 2 deep breaths at the end of my yoga classes. So if you'd like to join me, just find a comfy seated position. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, maybe bringing the hands down through your center. One more time. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale down. If you enjoyed this quick yoga practice, please, you know what's coming, like the video, comment what you thought, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram if you'd like to follow along on the journey. Your support really means the world to small creators like me to help get my content out to other people like you who would enjoy these classes. I'm here in Shillington, Pennsylvania at my hometown gym and had such a fun time at Time to Rise Fitness. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.